Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to speak on the fact that the plan is in place. The matrix, the system, whatever you want to call it, the government, the powers that be, the demons, the aliens, the devils, whatever you want to call them, it's all happening at one time. The forces are coming together. They're putting the pieces in place to execute on their plan. And one of their plans are instability. Okay? So, as they raise the prices on the cost of living, as they raise the prices on rent and housing, at the same time, and utilities, at the same time, they are banning being homeless. Okay? Now, we know that 90% of homeless people have one or two, or sometimes three issues. One of them is mental illness. The other one is drug abuse. And then the third one is these people have had devastating childhoods where they can't function in society because whoever was taking care of them have passed away. So they may be on the autism spectrum. They may have some psychological challenges where they can't negotiate for themselves. In order to purchase something or to apply for a job, and to assimilate into society. So they might not be mentally ill to the point of where they need pharmaceuticals, but they might be mentally challenged to the point where they can't negotiate properly with society. Because society can be very manipulative, very mean-spirited, underhanded, and abusive. So these people, it's very difficult for them to negotiate those type of spirits. See, they can only deal with people that care about them. See, they can only deal with genuine people, people that's like that have special needs, or that may be on the autism spectrum. They can't deal with psychopaths. And since so many people in society are mean-spirited psychopaths, it's hard for them to function, so they end up homeless. Okay? So we're going to listen to this sheriff that's in Florida. He's the sheriff of Polk County. Sheriff Grady Jude, and we're going to let him explain to you how this new anti-homeless law is going to impact the community.
Well, I think the law is necessary because some jurisdictions may not have the infrastructure or support. So I applaud the law. But we've got to be careful. When we implement this, it's designed so that government really doesn't set up housing camps, because that part of it is very onerous. Well, the reality is we have a lot of homeless shelters that help those that want help. And we're not going to allow the county jail to become the de facto homeless camp. I've worked with all the police chiefs and all of our providers in the private world, and our goal is to work together to offer services. So I don't think this law is going to have any great effect on us, the way we operate in this county anyway. I personally go out and walk through homeless camps and talk to the homeless people. And what I hear overwhelmingly is we want food, clothing, and shelter, but we don't want to go into homes. We don't want to go into organized places. We just want to be left alone. So our challenge.
See, the homeless say they just want to be left alone out in public places where they urinate, defecate, and make a big mess. See, that's a sign of mental illness. They don't want to go inside an organized housing unit, because organized housing units have rules where you can't drink, you can't do drugs, you can't have your other homeless boyfriend or girlfriend over, and you can't have no animals or pets. Homeless people do not want to follow the rules. Do I blame them? No. But you can't build your camp in the middle of the damn street. Let's continue.
Challenge is, where do they go other than homeless organized shelters? And there's not enough space for all of them if they wanted to go or if we wanted them to be there. And the reality of it is, we look for people who are allowing these folks to stay on their property, and we support that. But once again, this law was created specifically to avoid people from sleeping on park benches, to laying around on sidewalks, and I certainly support that law. But I'm also a big advocate to help the homeless. And it comes down to the lowest common denominator with me. I open up my Bible and it tells me clearly I'm to help those less fortunate. So in this county, I'm excited to tell you, I would love to have not one homeless person, but most of our homeless that want some kind of shelter and housing, we can provide it. Many of them don't want organized shelter. They just want food, clothing, and to be left alone. And we go out like in the wintertime and make sure they have quilts and blankets. We make sure they have tents. We make sure that they have access to food. So we're doing the best that we can, but this law is not going to create a de facto homeless camp in the jail. I don't think it'll make the situation worse if it's appropriately managed. What they want to do, with good reason, is to get homeless people off of the sidewalks. And that's important because our family, our children, our wife, our husband, our significant other has the right to walk down a sidewalk without having to step over or walk around a homeless person that's decided to set up camp in the middle of the sidewalk. That's a quality of life issue for everyone. And because you don't want to live in housing, and because you don't want to work and give you the right to lay around in the public parks, lay on the benches, set up your nasty little camps. So that's what we're cleaning up. But
see, and see, that's what I'm saying. See, it's an evil dichotomy that cannot be fixed, because the system, the powers that be, raise the cost of living. Now, so even a person that is not homeless, that are in their sound mind, that have a job, that have a driver's license, that's not on drugs, that don't have mental illness, it is a challenge for them to get proper housing, because they want you to pass a background check. You gotta have a deposit. You may have to come up with $3,000 to $4,000 just to move in for the first and last month rent. See, $4,000, and you gotta have a clean background. A clean background means that when they plug your name into the software that categorize your if you're qualified, you got to come back clean. So you can't have previous evictions. You can't have like a certain type of criminal record. See, your credit score can't be too low. You have to make 3 times the rent. If the rent is $2,000 a month, you have to make $6,000 a month. See? And we know that if you make $6,000 a month, you're making about $72,000 a year. See, and a third of your income, really more than a third, is going to go towards the rent. So there's a lot at play here. So we know that it's almost impossible to get housing unless you make about $50,000 to $100,000 a year to get basic housing. I'm not talking about anything fancy. Let's continue.
We've always done that here. And at the end of the day, my heart breaks for them, and we're going to help them, but they've got to help themselves. But what we're working toward is what we've always done, is not letting the jail be a de facto homeless camp, and that's not going to happen. I'm proud of my police chiefs. I'm proud of my cities and my private providers. We're all going to work together to deal with this the best that we can. It does. They cannot set up camp on park benches and on sidewalks, nor should they. They have to be held accountable for that. They have to either move along, or we'll try to get them services. And if they have to go to jail, they will. But they don't really want to be in jail either, because that's a form of being inside a building that they're trying to get away from.
See, so again, while we do have homeless advocates out here, the homeless advocates are not telling the whole story. Here is the whole story I'm going to tell you, because I have watched thousands of videos. This is the whole story right here. The unhoused do not want to be housed. They want to live free range like chickens. They want to be a free range human, which I don't have a problem with. If you want to live in an environment that allows that, just like you don't see free range chickens running in the streets, cows walking down the street, horses walking down the street. See, free range chickens have an area that they live in on a range, and they're free to walk around and eat bugs. Okay? But the chickens don't have mental problems. They respect one another. Hold on, guys. They respect one another. They're not drinking. They're not on drugs. See? But this is the kind of lifestyle that the homeless people want to live. They want to live the free-range chicken lifestyle. To roam the prairies. See? You can't do that in the city, though. Because the city has to function. You know, it's like setting your homeless encampment up on a ant farm. It's not going to work. Okay, let's continue.
Interact with these people, and I can tell you overwhelmingly, they don't want to be in an organized, structured environment.
See?
Now, you can say, well, they've got mental health issues, they've got drug issues, they've got alcohol issues. Listen, I don't deny all of that. But what I do tell you is that we are doing our best to provide an opportunity for them to live like they want without laying around on park benches. They cannot do that, right. And we're not going to allow that, because that's a deterrent from people wanting to shop, wanting to go downtown,
right,
wanting to live their life unobstructed by.
Right, exactly. See, and we're already taxed to the nine to enjoy these overpriced accommodations. Going to the park, sitting on the bench, riding public transportation without being accosted by homeless people, without having to smell homeless people. We're already overpaying for all these services in some aspects. Some areas have beautiful parks. Some areas in San Francisco have beautiful parks. Some areas in Seattle, Washington have beautiful parks. Some areas in Washington, D.C., So if you're paying for these services, you might as well enjoy them. But the homeless people, they're not enjoying them. They don't care. They just want to be there and lay around and beg for money so they can go and do whatever they're going to do with it. That's their business. So that is what the problem is. Yes, we have been domesticated and we have been tricked, the regular populace. But while we are in the circus, we might as well enjoy the show. Let's continue.
By someone who wants to lay around and take up their space on park benches and wants to create what I call a quality of life issue. We're not going to allow here to get like Los Angeles and some of that nonsense out in California. We're just not going to do that. But at the same time, we're going to be sensitive for our homeless who need help. We will move them, yes, but preferably we move them to social services and not to jail. That's not where they need to be, and that's not what we're doing here in this county. Are there going to be a few arrests? Well, obviously there are, and there always have been. But this new law, the way it's written, based upon the way we've been doing business in Polk County, we won't see any significant change. Yeah.
Okay, so the new Florida law is one of the strictest anti-homelessness measures in the nation and bans camping on the streets, sidewalks, and in parks. All of these are public places that the tens of thousands millions of taxpayers pay to access these public spaces. You can't set up a camp in a mall. You can't set up a camp in a grocery store. You can't set up a camp at Sam's or Walmart. You can't do that. See, so this is the problem, guys. Let's continue.
Yeah, I can't speak for them specifically, but I can tell you where there's crime, there's government that doesn't do the job that they're allowed to do with the law. So where you see a bad homeless problem, it's because it's been allowed to get to that point. Now, sometimes people think more of the homeless than they do the hardworking, tax-paying citizens
Right.
that have the same right to use the parks, the same right to use the sidewalks
Right.
unimpeded. So at the end of the day, it all depends. And quite frankly, if you make an environment where you don't have accountability and responsibility, you not only have your homeless people you have to deal with, but other homeless people come there.
Right.
So,
Right, and that's another problem. That the homeless people, they got some type of network, some kind of underground network where they let all the other homeless people know where they can like get away with taking advantage of the system. I don't know. I guess they're on. I don't know if they're on. They got a Facebook group, a homeless Facebook group, or some type of Instagram account. But they find out where they can lay around. It was something else I forgot. But I'm gonna listen. Let's listen.
so if there's a community that doesn't care, we'll tell them, hey, Polk County's going to hold you accountable and responsible, but this town or this city will let you lay around on the public property. And then if you go there, that's on them to deal with it. So at the end of the day, you need to provide services. You need to provide help. And we do that and are going to continue. And we're continuing to look for more ways to help the homeless. We do that. We are compassionate. But we're not going to allow you to violate the quality of life law.
Hold on, guys. It's freezing. Hold on. Let's see if we can get back online here. Hold on. Let me see what part he was at. Maybe I can just read it. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, man. Come on. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'll be back. Okay, guys. This video, it froze up. So I'm just going to read some of the things that he's saying. Right here says, he said he go through the homeless camps and go through the communities, the homeless shelters. No, not homeless shelters. And he said, they say, what I hear overwhelmingly is, oh, here it is. Here it is. It's back. It's back. Hold on, guys.
Well, I think the law is necessary because some jurisdictions, but this new law, the way it's written, based upon the way we've been doing business, that's on them to deal with it.
There we go.
So at the end of the day, you need to provide services. You need to provide help. And we do that and are going to continue. And we're continuing to look for more ways to help the homeless. We do that. We're compassionate. But we're not going to allow you to violate the quality of life law.
Oh, it keeps freezing up at the same spot. We're not going to let you violate the quality of life law. So let me see if I can find that right here real quick. Hold on. If you think, oh Lord. Okay, they missed on. They've been believe it. Listen to that. Please always coming out. Okay, guys. All right. So that's. I guess that's it. I'm not gonna be able to find it. But I can read this. I'm just gonna read this. They have been afraid to believe it, to listen. So if they had seen a police officer coming out to try to encourage them to get a safety, oh, there's something else. Anyway, guys, that's it for that. That's it. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to touch on that video about the homelessness in Florida. All right, guys, until next time, guys, remember, keep your life clean, keep your body clean, keep your car clean, keep your home clean, keep your mind clean, guys. Guys, remember to download and deploy your anti-malware software, debug and unplug from the matrix. Guys, remember to drink plenty of spring water to flush out the toxins, the chemicals, and the poisons in the food supply. Guys, you've already been poisoned. You've been micro-poisoned every day. And since you're operating in your unconscious state, you're also poisoning your children and your pets. Until next time, guys, I'm Contraband 777, and I'm out. Now go and conquer yourself. Peace.